guilty begin.
The pleasures return.
Through darkness and night.
A cinema's light.
100 times the marquee shines.
To raise above what we love.
The loud and bold. Both new and old.
A cinema's light. Through darkness and night.
The pleasures return.
The guilty
begin.
Again.
Finally. I've been looking for a long time. Hadn't found everything, though. In 4 years, I've learned that reality has a funny way of repeating things.
Ibu mungkin hanya. What are you doing here?
Whoa, 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 what are you doing here? Whoa.
Who are you?
Maybe you've heard of me. Scott.
Who?
Scott, man. Guilty Pleasure Cinema? Celebrating the movies you're embarrassed to love?
Stop talking!
Screw this.
Ah! Get back here!
Okay, I got time to figure that out. Hello, everybody. Scott here again, and welcome back to the Guilty Pleasure Cinema, celebrating the movies you're embarrassed to love. I used to also say showcasing those you might have missed. That doesn't apply to this one whatsoever. You'll see why in a second. So, we're celebrating 4 years of the movies you're embarrassed to love. We're celebrating 100 episodes of the movies you're embarrassed to love. We figured it out. It's 100 for real. We're there. What are we going to look at today? Well, you can kind of see a little bit of it here. But we're looking at a movie that basically is a guilty pleasure through and through in every sense of the word. Now, some of the recent ones we've looked at, things like Cowboys and Aliens, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, they're probably the two most recent ones, but Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter, Battleship, for people who know what the concept is. It's a basic thing where it's a guilty pleasure movie and yet is exactly what it is and wants to be. And those ones all faltered. People didn't latch on to those like they should have. People didn't grab on and celebrate. But sometimes they do. Sometimes they do. Sometimes people see a movie for exactly what it is, loves it for it, makes me a little upset because why don't they love the other ones too when they're doing the same thing? And those same people will just dismiss them sight unseen like, that looks dumb. When by all accounts, Guardians of the Galaxy should be considered one of the silliest movies to be that successful. It is! And yet, people love this thing. Rightfully so. It's Disney now, so this thing is everywhere. Rocket would be pleased. But Guardians of the Galaxy is one of those movies where, really, it's the biggest, most successful, commercially, critically, of everything I've looked at, guilty pleasure-wise. This movie sums up everything that is a guilty pleasure, and yet made $1 bajillion to boot. So what is this movie? Peter Quill, 80s boy, was abducted and taken to space, and now we see him years later as a scavenger searching for an artifact, always ready to go at the drop of a legend. He's confident, silly, charming, and would you believe, capable. That's important, because even though he might be stumbling into things, his skill and ability still took him to these places and allowed him to succeed at them. That's important, even though he might be on the top 9 naughty list. He encounters 4 companions. A talking raccoon named Rocket, who loves guns and schemes. His best friend Groot, a talking space tree who only says, "I am Groot," voiced by Fast and Furious Vin Diesel. A green assassin, played by the blue cat lady from Avatar, Zoe Saldana. And a giant metaphorless bruiser called Drax, played by WWE's Batista, painted green. Although they kind of messed up on this, because she's green, but he came out gray on that. But anyway, they team up to recover the artifact, before the hammer-wielding evil blue alien Ronan can use it to destroy the space cop Nova Corps homeworld, all while pissing off the even eviler and cooler purple alien Thanos, and his blue genetically altered Clone Wars-style daughter Nebula. Got all that? That's guilty pleasure, right? But what is this movie? It's Marvel Star Wars. Now, considering we're talking history, I asked for some notes from the unemployed historian. He helped me out here. What this movie is Marvel's 10th and their first big branch. That's a Groot pun. Into newness beyond their core. They started with Iron Man. Core. That's an Iron Man joke. Man in Techno Armor had a cartoon. He's known well enough. Then the Hulk, Jekyll and Hyde, and Radiation. They started a television series, and that really made him known in the 70s. He's arguably the most well-known of the original Marvel Avengers in the movies we have here. Thor came next. Obviously, Thor is Thor. People know him more, but in the comics, he's still God of Thunder. And the Asgardians are like a godlike alien race that, well, their addition opened up the whole new element of fantasy involved into the sci-fi heavy Marvel Cinematic Universe we had so far. It's kind of funny hearing the historian with fake stuff. I mean, the Hercules thing was fun, so this is interesting. After that was Captain America. History, generally well known because of how idealistically patriotic he is. But we also, with him, establish a history in the Marvel Universe in movies dating back to at least the 40s with World War II. Very cool stuff here. These were all tied together with the Avengers that brought in assassins and spies, and they fought aliens, establishing threats from beyond the Earth. Okay? Now, these mostly got sequels. Sorry, Hulk. But then we come to Guardians of the Galaxy, and this takes the slow burn of advanced technology, fantasy magic science, and alien worlds, combining them into something altogether new, yet familiar. Take a tech-savvy human. Pair him with assassins and bruisers and walking, talking trees and raccoons, and you need to remember that in their original states, none of these characters even got beyond the D-list. Random monster comics, nothing cosmic comics, side characters to side characters. And yet, they're brought together into something great that really captured the imagination and was both critically and commercially successful. Literally combining things that are kind of familiar into something greater. Just like I said, the slow burn of the tech, the magic, all that stuff. That's great. So, thank you, historian. There you go. That is Guardians of the Galaxy. that rainbow of space crazy coming together as a cohesive unit to save the galaxy is a pretty common thing in movies. This is Abnett and Lanning doing Guardians of the Galaxy about 10 years ago now in comic book form. They took a bunch of D-listers who didn't even have their own series and barely had a mini-series between them and elevated them amazingly in the cosmic Marvel universe. And that became the basis of this movie. It's a shame that Brian Michael Bendis now is the writer of Guardians, and people know that as Guardians, thinking that's what this is. It isn't, even though that's the same group of characters he was writing. Abnett and Lanning made this thing amazing. And it's, like I said, it's a simple concept. It's a bunch of guys teaming up to save the galaxy. Sometimes that's all you need. There's a lot more to it than that, considering that when I say bunch of guys, I didn't even say guys and a girl because one of them's a raccoon and the other one's a tree. So I'm just saying guys as a collective grouping here. But if you're not Star Wars, why are you trying to make a movie like this? That's why they did. This thing is kind of brilliant in that it is Star Wars. It's comic book. It's Star Wars. It feels like both. It takes the superhero genre and goes elsewhere with it. Because we had superhero movies, but now we have comic book movies. And there's a similar feel that Marvel has to theirs. And this is a bigger gamble than Ant-Man ever was. Because we've had the incredible Shrinking Man in movies. Except now this one's an action hero in a heist. Okay? This is a Star Wars ripoff through and through to anyone who doesn't know or get it. They would see that and be like, that one's Chewbacca, that's Han Solo, that's Leia, right? But no, it's not. And that's the awesomeness of it. Instead of trying to be it and copy it, it simply went, we like the tone, we'll do that, but we're going to be us. Ain't nobody me but me, as Rocket would say. That's what this movie is. Ain't nothing like it but it. Of course, we're going to get all the copycats and clones, and reportedly already that Star Wars is very similar to that and yet doing its own thing. And it's back now, so Star Wars kind of reclaimed the throne of what Guardians is. But heck, Star Trek Beyond was kind of redesigned to be more like Guardians. I'm hearing about the new Dungeons and Dragons movie, about being Tolkien-esque with a Guardians tone. You wonder why Guardians does so well? You wonder why Deadpool does so well? Because they're their own thing. They're not trying to copy others. And yet, there's no harm in being very similar. This was easily Marvel's biggest gamble to date. And yet, it had no connection to their prior movies whatsoever on a surface level. It obviously does. It's their 10th. After 3 Iron Mans, an Avengers, a Hulk, 2 Thors, and 2 Captain Americas, Marvel had so much goodwill with audiences that they were on board for whatever this would be. That would hold true for another Ant-Man, and it's going to hold true for Doctor Strange, and Captain Marvel, and Black Panther, and Inhumans. They've got a sure thing going here. Someday it'll fall apart. That's how those things kind of work, but what this is a brilliant concept of a bunch of goofballs in space. And really, if you're not Star Wars, why are you trying? And yet, please try. Don't be scared of it. That's what this did. It's comic book. It's Star Wars. It feels right. And yet, aside from those, name me another like that. Star Trek, kinda. Firefly, more of a Western. That's how few these movies are. You have a big green man deadpanning everything he makes dead. A gun-toting raccoon who doesn't know what raccoons are. A tree with a 3-word vocabulary. A green assassin lady, and some random dude teaming up to save the galaxy. After the Avengers, these new guys were a huge gamble. Paid off. It had the Marvel tone, and that means all the world, means all the galaxy. Goofy aliens coming together to save the galaxy is as silly as anything I've ever looked at. And this looks, on surface value, like anything as goofy as I've seen. This logo right here is the magic that gave audiences the, oh, it's not silly, or at least dumb in my attitude, I will go see it, even though many movies I've looked at are on par with what this pulls off and attempts and achieves. And yet it's just a bunch of goofy aliens saving the galaxy. Yeah, we gotta stop running. We have a Ronin? Of course we do. Right? Don't think so. Oh, okay, do we have a Conan? We have a Conan. Yeah, also, I refuse to be part of a bunch of jockasses standing in a circle. There's only 2 of us, and that was naughty. Is that a Santa's Sleigh reference or a League of Extraordinary Gentlemen reference? I'm not sure, actually. Well, do we have weapons at least? Bricks, guyvers, elephants? Well, I have my gun, and it's got at least 1 round. Stop thinking Prague Police. Start thinking PlayStation. Release the Kraken on a battleship. I want a barcoded hitman with an axe, or a top hat, or... Some of those are making about as much sense as a T-Rex in San Diego. We could be fighting a war that's been raging for the better part of 1,000 years. Ours is a war that must be fought in the shadows. I have the power, because if it bleeds, we can kill it. We could die. I died once. But I make my own destiny, and I am not yet ready for hell. What about Virginia? I'm not a girl, though I guess if I was, my secret weapon would be PMS.
Okay, no. That's disgusting.
Yeah, but still. Wait, Girl Scott's still a girl?
Well, yeah, of course I am. Why wouldn't I be?
Don't worry about him. And of course she, I, her, yeah, would be. Yours was good, hers was better. The difference? Showmanship. She'll be back. There's a little Scott in all of us. Especially Girl Scott. Maybe we don't need weapons, though. Maybe we could just ninja kick the damn rabbit, because it's good to hang pirates. Are we just trying to reference all 100 in a cheap way? It's difficult, not impossible. I listened. Can you keep up? Your move, creep. Judgment time. And punishment. Never go full retard. Bad language makes for bad feelings. Drift? We kind of ran this into the ground, didn't we? Too guilty, too pleasure? I'm gonna need that guy's leg! Wait, that's your own line from this movie. Just getting us back on track. Good call, actually. So, what went wrong? Nothing. Nothing at all. There's not a single misstep in this entire movie. Can't complain about any of the cast, any of the effects, anything. You could complain that it ended, but even there was a song cue they used at the end that plays on the fact of, you miss us and want us back. It's perfect. Music, though, that's actually probably the one thing I could make a thing about. The music is good, but like some of the scoring that Marvel's Brian Tyler has been doing of late, he's good, he's great. It just lacks that oomph of a theme, because I can think of the theme songs from some of the earlier Marvel ones, but the ones he's done, I don't really have a theme song, like a Batman theme, or an Iron Man theme, or a Superman theme, or even a Turtles theme. But he did the new one for that too, so he's kind of like, he hasn't found his footing for the leitmotif, the real theme of the movie, the Guardians theme song. Can you hum it? No, but I know what you are humming, and that's kind of why it's not that big of a problem anyway. I'm going to get some help on this one, because the music is a whole nother story. Right, David?
Hi, Scott. Yes, Awesome Mix Volume 1 was a massive release in 2014. The second highest selling album, just behind Frozen. And of course, they're both owned by Disney. As a matter of fact, it's the only soundtrack to be released on the top 200 US Billboard chart, which is comprised entirely of previously released songs. That success is quite literally its greatest strength. The songs were on Peter's mixtape, a gift from his mother, and really his only connection to her and the Earth. They grounded him as someone relatable to the audience. A stable point in a film all about aliens and oddities, which made him and the film itself more accessible. The real success of the songs, however, is the thematic structure they have within the film. The titles, lyrics, and meanings go well beyond the original intent. Not surprising since they predate him by about 30 to 40 years. They are repurposed, so we get songs like Escape, the Pina Colada song, during a prison break. We get I Want You Back as we're seeing the end of the movie. You know, because we do want them back. We want to see more of these people. And of course, we get Hooked on a Feeling. And of course, we get Hooked on a Feeling.
Ooga chaka, ooga ooga, ooga chaka, ooga ooga.
Yes, that. The soundtrack structure itself, combining odd elements from different entities and using them together for something no one imagined. Well, that's the Guardians themselves, both in context in the movie, but also literally, as these low-tier, non-selling comic book characters being cobbled together to have some cosmic space adventures. That's a pretty great thing if you ask me. Peter Quill evolving beyond his origins from a bland, faceless white guy behind a mask.
Want to ignore that last bit?
Very much so. Happy 100th!
Thanks, David. They are cool masks, though.
Yes. Yes, they are.
So if nothing went wrong, what we should look at is what could have. Because, like I've been saying about these prior 90-something reviews, not a lot of those were financially successful. It's kind of the thing that we're looking at here. And yet this one was. And it, more than any other, except maybe some cartoons, had movies where important plot points, major emotional details, character development, all these things are happening with interaction between humans and silly puppety things, as if nothing is weird about that at all.
Ahem. There is nothing odd about that.
Starch, hey, hi! How are you doing? What are you... Oh, no, that's not what I meant.
Yeah, sure it isn't. You just happen to have us appear before dealing with clashing titans or baweeps and expect us to act dignified about it?
Well, yeah. I always give you guys the exposition and proper dialogue while I made a complete fool of myself.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. I
Yeah,
mean,
you did
you're
do that.
pretty good at making a fool out of yourself, and I mean, especially with all them silly hats. I don't know what's the deal with the hats.
It was pretty embarrassing, actually.
Okay,
Like
that's
a
enough.
Team
That's
Fortress
enough.
2 orgasm.
That's my point. Everything was taken really seriously here. And that's the beauty of it. It so easily could have just been not taken seriously, but was. Everything was viewed as important and mattered, and by things that weren't even there or made no sense when they spoke. That's a beautiful, brilliant thing. It could have just as easily been done wrongly. It literally almost always is. Jar Jar.
Gasp!
I know, I'm sorry, I know, but we'll get there someday, but that's how easy this could have been done wrong, because that is still an amazing accomplishment of interaction with humans and digital. And was mostly taken seriously in and of itself, but was still, well, let's flip that. It wasn't taken seriously at all, it was viewed as comedic relief, but it was executed seriously, as if he was there in the scene and belonged there. And that's what we have here. We have amazing interactions between raccoons and trees and green people and blue people and purple people and normal people and things that aren't even people. And it's all done in just the way that it's supposed to be that way. It's expected to be that way. That's just how things are. Don't draw attention to it because it'll fall apart. And yet, draw attention to it because you know what? That's how things are. It ended up with actual characterization, amazing emotion, real tears. It's great. So we're good?
We be chilly.
For now.
What is that supposed to mean?
Nothing. Just keeping you on your toes.
Thanks. I think. Well, thanks for stopping by episode 100 at least.
Ooh, is there cake?
No, sorry, there's no cake.
Oh, okay. Ooh, Starch Nemesis. Are we at 100 yet?
You know, I don't know. We don't number ours.
So, theoretically, hypothetically, we could be.
Why not?
Woohoo!
Yay!
Yes! 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 Yes!
Yay!
Woohoo! I'm getting cake.
There's no cake.
Sometimes I wish I could get my hands on God. Oh. Wait, I'm supposed to have a villain. Oh, crap. Okay, no, the anniversaries always have a villain in it. I got a Predator, I had a Terminator, and it was kind of alien drug dealer, more indicator himself, and there was Scottitor involved from before, and oh, crap. Okay, no, so I didn't focus on that, because adventures are really more about the journey. There's no final boss to overcome. I mean, there often is, and yet it's more about the adventure. Crap. Okay, so in Guardians, to overcome, he reaches out to his mother, who had passed when he was young, died of cancer. He reached out and got the strength to overcome and win the day. And that's not a spoiler, because there's lots of detail, don't worry. So I could do that, and reach out to my mom, who died of cancer 7 years ago, and get the strength to move on and get this back on track. But this is a celebration, and she'd want that. So instead, I'm going to reach out to a friend. John?
Yeah, sure. What's up?
I need a villain.
Villain? Yeah, I can do villain.
Yeah, but it's late in the review. I don't really need a dead-end roads thing or a top dollar roads thing. I need a Ronan the Accuser scene thing.
Okay, yeah, what scene? Ronan's ceremonial introduction? Ronan's yelling at Thanos? Ronan throwing Drax around like he's nothing? Whatever it is, I got it.
No, nothing like that.
Oh? Okay, what is it?
I'm on vacation. That's right. Dance off, bro.
I'm in.
Okay, that's much better. Much better than having a fight scene on top of the Statue of Liberty, or saying I'll cut someone's goddamn head off to see if that works, or calling someone a mush spine, or a choir boy compared to me. A choir boy! Or sending a dick message. Let's pretend you didn't. Are you some kind of doomsday machine, boy? A big red machine, and I never miss. I am the world's most dangerous predator, and I don't sparkle. I thought of that one too. I won't let this stand. Always bet on black. But this isn't for our world, is it? A foot in both worlds. An alien planet. I am the Ripper, the Terror, the Teeth in the Night. This is true. I flew across the battlefield on a cannonball. This is also true. Then let's experiment. I'll be back. Only in a rerun. What, really? No. But anyway, what went right? All that. This is Star Wars in all the best ways, really claiming that crown before Star Wars came back and got it a year and a half later. The characters are amazing. Chris Pratt's Star-Lord is so great and fun and awesome. Who knows what he's doing, is good at it, and has fun doing it. Batista's Drax nearly steals the show, but has serious competition from Rocket and Groot, who deserve a Tango and Cash movie all their own. Gamora is good, the Nova guys are fun, Lee Pace's Ronan is fantastic, and Josh Brolin is Thanos. I love Thanos. I don't even know, I to this day don't know if you actually call it Thanos or Thanos, but I don't care. He's one of my favorites. Ever. Of all time. And if you've seen prior episodes, you have an idea that I've kind of really been influenced by some stuff involved with that. Because really, who doesn't love a good cosmic bad guy?
Yes, yes! Finally, you will all know my real power.
What?
I have waited a long time for this. I will bathe the starways with your blood.
That seems a bit excessive, don't you think?
No,
really think about it. There's infinite stars, and after last year, the crisis of infinite Scots is over, so there's only so much of my blood.
But no, see, it was supposed to be all intimidating and cosmic and...
It really makes little sense, honestly. I mean, that's your big spiel. That's you're coming out here to be impressive and threatening. You may as well be debuting with a green race car track.
Hey, that's going a bit too far, don't you think?
Okay, maybe a little.
It was just a big cosmic threat. Kinda abstract, yet specific. But you had to get all analytical about it. It's not supposed to make sense. It's cosmic, unimaginable. Like the anti-life equation, or station.
Alright, I'm sorry I ruined your big epic cosmic intimidation threat. It's kinda got awkward. Why just call it till next time?
Yeah, sure, alright. But now I have to find something else to bathe the starways with. Coffee.
I am Matt.
Oh, hey, Matt, I almost didn't think you'd make it.
I am Matt.
I know.
I am Matt.
Right, Matt Zion from Reckless Eating and...
I am Matt.
Questionable Gamers.
I am Matt.
On the Battleship Review and a couple other cameos.
I am Matt.
Wait, okay.
I am Matt.
Okay, so we've established it. Why are you...
I am Groot.
Oh, you're doing that, right?
I am Groot.
Okay, you're doing this on purpose.
I am Matt.
Flame on!
I am Matt.
I'm having more fun doing this.
I am Matt.
You're just gonna keep on keeping on, aren't you?
I am Matt.
Food is tasty.
I am Matt. I am Groot or Matt. I am Groot Matt.
You sure you can protect this? If you're sure, then you'll probably need this. Are you sure? I mean, you're going to need something.
I've got this.
If you say so, okay. Are you sure?
They can fight me, they can square up.
Okay. Sorry, that seemed like it was going to be forever, and had something to take care of. And speaking of which...
Hail! Thraund here.
Hail, this is Eldgrim.
And we're here for Guilty Pleasure Cinema, because Scott Summerton asked us to test a scene out of Guardians of the Galaxy and see if it was possible.
That's right. The specific scene we're going to test is the scene where Gamora is fleeing with the orb, and Star-Lord takes his bola off of his utility belt and throws it and arrests her forward progress, dropping her in her place. Today, Thran has a
primitive version of the tool. This is a primitive tool version. His was a technologically advanced one with a kind of an energy cord beam, and looked like it guided itself.
Right.
But today we're going to have to use a primitive version with some padded weights and a cord so it's safe, and throw it pretty much like they did in the old Master TV series by Showa Kasugi with Lee Van Cleef,
right,
where they would just throw the Manriki of the Casaria, the Casari Fondo, and it would wrap around the legs of the fleeing person and just arrest them or capture them without harming them.
That's right. Well, today I'm going to be the runner. Thran's going to be the one trying to catch me with the bola. And this is going to be on Thran's own guidance system. He's going to have to
Right, I got to do it by hand. So if this works, we know that his would most likely
work. All right,
work.
Thran, when you're
being
ready.
technologically advanced.
All right, when you're ready, Thran.
Yeah.
All right, on your mark, get set, go.
Ah!
That worked.
It worked. You were totally tangled up.
That was great.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Rule 1, never change the deal. Oh, great. It's the killer of killers. I hope you're up for more references. I am sitting and I have more than one line, but you're sardonumsi, and we need to wrap this up with a Panama. No, I am not. What's a Panama? Holy shit, I'd have more luck with a silent German vampire. Alright. Fire sale. Why would one sell fire? Pain is my power. I can relate with that one. Who said we were terrorists? No one said anything of the sort. Alright, fine. What does this look like? Like some kind of wolf cop. There we go. I knew you'd say that. How did you... Stay out of my head! Okay, that's enough. Go find a rock or something. He's a tough rundown. Crap, now I can't get him to stop. If you're not strong enough to kill the bear, use the bear's own strength against it. But why would I use the strength of the bear when I could use my own strength to get both eyes? Unless it were loyal as a puppy. It's a metaphor, not an actual bear. Unfriggin' believable. You know what? That's it. Mate, I tap. Go tell some cowboys demons took their gold or something. I will do that. Finger to the throat means death. And I am going to finish what I started.
You again?
Crap.
I knew you'd come back.
Look, I just need to find something, okay? Then I'll be gone.
No, you're coming with me right now.
Guess I never told you about Plan C.
What?
Foobar. Big time. There we go. The lost episodes. Finally found them. And they're fixed. They have been all along. I mean, the way good time travel works is you take something that's established and you're doing it in the moment of the audience witnessing it. And you make it happen where I'm going to take these, I'm going to send these back through time with this device to my past self who will encounter and experience it in that moment when that was the present, and that'll be what it is. Good time travel does that. That's how things work. And that's the beauty of that kind of stuff. So we've got Fantastic Four, we've got Transporter, we've got Hitman, we've got Buffy, we've got Indicator. I'm going to put that one aside. That's worrying. We've got Prince of Persia, the one non-Fox of the failed 5 of the Lost. So send those back. Good time travel means they're already there. So I've succeeded. Yay! I better not forget to do that. And yeah, we're up to 100. And that is bringing us to 100 with Guardians of the Galaxy. The ultimate, proper, amazing, successful, guilty pleasure movie. It's a story of Drax-like simplicity with 5 ragtag aliens guarding the galaxy. It's everything I love in a GPC. It's a ragtag group of adventurers led by a guy in a silly coat with a mask who strives to do what he does and is feeling pretty good about it, but is in obscurity and his accomplishments go unseen by everyone. Feels a little familiar there. It also features a character that hit home because basically it's an 80s kid, probably born in the 70s like myself, late 70s. And he loses his mom to cancer. And she saw me when I was invisible. Yes, I'm still referencing I always will. And this movie was anything but invisible. Everybody saw this movie. Everybody loved this movie. Of course, there's people that don't like the movie. I mean, it's an overgeneralizing of the statement. To say everybody hated a movie is silly too, because not everybody hates it. You got to celebrate the movies you're embarrassed to love. Never just go along, oh yeah, it was dumb, I didn't like it too, when you really did. Champion that movie. It's the right thing to do. It is the epitome of a guilty pleasure. It is the epitome of everything I strive to celebrate here at the GPC. It is the perfect movie for episode 100. honestly, most of what I've reviewed over the past 4 years can be summed up that way. Sure, The Incredible Hulk Returns or Bloodsport 2s don't quite meet that level of execution, Abraxas, or things like that. But for all the Predators, or Lost Worlds, or Cowboys and Aliens, or Battleships, and Presidential Vampire Hunters, and for all of those, you get something like this, where everybody loved it. Marvel branding notwithstanding, I can't think of a better way to celebrate 100 episodes than with the guilty pleasure that everyone loved. Remember that when you're dismissing movies over Hal Jordan's being uncomic-like with his quips, when the infiltrator unit is being sexy and infiltrating as the TX, when Dolph Lundgren is on screen, when Buffy is the chosen one to be a vampire slayer. Don't dismiss these things sight unseen, because if you do that, you'll miss out on so much good. You'll miss out on things like Frank Langella's Skeletor, the Kumite, Killian, Sexual Tyrannosaurs, The Rock's Crazy Eyes, Hans freaking Gruber, parking garage fights, Clone Troopers, El Nino stealing the movie, and the hunter that makes trophies of men. Celebrate the awesome. Celebrate 4 years and 100 episodes of the Guilty Pleasure Cinema.
Actually, it's your first anniversary. You know what a leap year is, right?
Yeah.
4 years.
Yeah.
February 29th.
Yeah. Oh. Of all the cinemas in all the world, she walks into mine.
Also, isn't your dad normally here for these?
Yeah, he is. Wait.
No. I haven't seen him.
Okay, good, but I will find him.
And I will find the Baron.
Still mad about that, huh?
And I'll send the 4 horsemen after him.
Ooh, okay, nuts. That sounds bad. And wait, Crow 4? You're doing references to? This never ends, does it?
You really only have 2 shots left, so it's about to.
You're right, so let me close this out. Thank you to everyone who has contributed from around the world in some way, shape, or form by watching, suggesting, being a fan, making weapons tests, doing cameos, goofing around in my backyard or on my couch. Doesn't matter what you've done. I can't thank you enough for celebrating the movies that you're embarrassed to love with me. That's why we're here, right? So, I just have one more thing to say. Do you know what's on page 1, chapter 1 of Scott Manual? It's always stay till after the credits. You know what's on page 2? You shouldn't feel guilty about it if it's a movie you love. Thank you.
I
dead can return given sufficient motivation.